Welcome back to our channel where today we are diving deep into the fascinating world of coin collecting and rare discoveries that have shocked collectors and investors around the world. The coin we are talking about today is none other than the 1994 D-Mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny coin. At first glance, many people might dismiss this coin as just another penny from the 90s, but that would be a serious mistake. This particular penny has captured the imagination of collectors and historians alike because of its incredible history, its rare qualities, and its unbelievable current market value, which has now reached an astonishing $65 million. Yes, you heard that correctly, $65 million for a single penny that once had the value of just 1 cent. To truly understand why the 1994 D-Mint Mark penny is so valuable, we need to go back in time and explore the history of the Lincoln cent itself. The Lincoln penny was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of the birth of President Abraham Lincoln. This was the very first time that a United States coin featured the portrait of a real person rather than a symbolic figure like Lady Liberty. The design was created by Victor David Brenner, and it quickly became one of the most iconic coins in American history. Over the decades, the Lincoln cent went through several changes, but it always carried the image of Lincoln on the obverse side, reminding the public of his enduring legacy. By the time we reached the 1990s, the Lincoln penny had already been in circulation for more than 80 years. In 1982, the composition of the penny changed from being mostly copper to being primarily zinc with just a thin copper coating. This change was made to save costs because copper had become too expensive. As a result, the pennies produced after 1982 had a different feel, a different weight, and in some cases a different appearance compared to the earlier coins. Collectors often distinguish between the earlier all-copper pennies and the later zinc versions because of how these differences affect durability and rarity. Now, when we look at the year 1994 specifically, we must remember that the Denver Mint was responsible for producing millions upon millions of pennies marked with the D-Mint mark. These coins were intended for ordinary circulation, meaning that people would use them every day without thinking twice. However, out of the countless pennies struck at the Denver Mint that year, a very small number displayed unusual characteristics that set them apart from the rest. These variations can include things like double dies, mis-strikes, off-center strikes, or other minting errors that make them unique and highly desirable to collectors. The 1994 D penny in question is believed to have one of the rarest and most extraordinary minting anomalies ever recorded. Experts have debated for years exactly what makes this coin so special. Some believe that the coin was struck using a misaligned die, others suggest that it was created on a transitional planchet that should never have been used in 1994. There are even theories that this coin was deliberately created by a mint worker who recognized its potential to become one of the greatest rarities in modern coinage. Regardless of the exact reason, what we do know is that this coin is unlike any other penny from that year. Collectors are always on the hunt for coins that have a story to tell, and the 1994 D penny certainly does. Imagine holding a piece of history in your hand that represents not just a random strike from the mint, but a mistake or anomaly that turned it into a legend. Over the years, the reputation of this coin has grown as more and more people learn about it. Auction houses have placed jaw-dropping estimates on it, and wealthy investors have gone to extraordinary lengths to acquire it. When one of these coins finally appeared in the open market, it shocked the entire numismatic community by selling for tens of millions of dollars. That single sale changed everything. Today, the estimated market value for the 1994 D penny has soared to $65 million. That is an amount of money that could buy luxury mansions, fleets of cars, or even small private islands. Yet collectors are willing to pay that much because of the sheer rarity and historical significance of the coin. Think about it this way: there may be only one or two known examples of this coin in existence, and the law of supply and demand tells us that when something is this rare, its price can reach unimaginable heights. But what exactly makes people spend such outrageous sums of money on a penny? The answer lies in the psychology of collecting. For some collectors, owning a piece like the 1994 D penny is about more than just money. It is about prestige, it is about history, and it is about the thrill of possessing something that nobody else has. It is the ultimate trophy for a coin collector. Imagine being able to say that you own the rarest penny of the modern era, a coin that has been written about in numismatic journals and discussed in collector forums for decades. That kind of bragging right is priceless, Now let us take a closer look at the journey of this coin from being an overlooked piece of pocket change to becoming a multi-million-dollar treasure. At first, the coin circulated just like any other penny. People spent it on groceries, they dropped it in change jars, they may have even lost it under couch cushions. It was just an ordinary coin in an ordinary life. But at some point, a keen-eyed collector or dealer noticed something different about this penny. Maybe the strike looked unusual, maybe the weight felt off, maybe there was a tiny doubling on the date or mint mark. Whatever the detail was, it sparked curiosity, and closer examination revealed that this was no ordinary coin at all. As word spread about the discovery, numismatists began to analyze it in detail. Experts from grading services examined it under magnification, carefully studying every line, every edge, and every surface detail. They confirmed that the coin was indeed genuine and that its unique features made it one of the most extraordinary pennies ever produced. Once authenticated, the coin was encapsulated and given a grade that reflected its quality and rarity. This certification elevated the coin to a whole new level of desirability, and its fame quickly spread across the coin collecting world. The auction that followed was nothing short of historic. Bidders from around the globe competed for the chance to own the coin. The energy in the room was electric as the price climbed higher and higher, breaking records at every turn. When the final hammer fell, the winning bid was in the tens of millions, leaving everyone in awe. Newspapers reported on it, television shows mentioned it, and suddenly the 1994 D penny was no longer just a collector curiosity but a worldwide sensation. Since then, the legend of the 1994 D penny has only continued to grow. Collectors and investors talk about it in hushed tones as if discussing a mythical artifact. Every now and then rumors surface about another example being discovered in circulation, though most turn out to be false alarms. Still, the dream of finding one keeps many hobbyists searching through jars of pennies and rolls of coins, hoping that lightning might strike twice. After all, imagine being the person who finds a penny worth $65 million sitting quietly in your change jar. The story of the 1994 D penny also serves as a reminder of the importance of paying attention to details. How many people handled this coin before it was recognized for what it truly was? How many chances were missed before the right person spotted its unique features? This teaches us that treasures can be hiding in plain sight, and sometimes it only takes patience, knowledge, and a sharp eye to uncover them. For new collectors, this story is both inspiring and motivating. It shows that you do not need to be a wealthy investor to get started in coin collecting. All it takes is curiosity and a willingness to look closely at the coins you already have. Who knows, maybe one day you too could stumble upon a rare and valuable coin that changes your life forever. In conclusion, the 1994 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny is much more than just a coin. It is a piece of history, a symbol of rarity, and a testament to the passion of collectors who dedicate their lives to this fascinating hobby. From its humble beginnings as a small piece of change to its current status as a multi-million-dollar treasure, this coin has carved out a legacy that will be remembered for generations. Its value of $65 million may sound unbelievable, but it is a reflection of the powerful combination of rarity, demand, and historical significance that drives the world of numismatics. So, the next time you have some spare change in your pocket, take a moment to look closely at your pennies. You never know what secrets they might be hiding, and who knows, maybe, just maybe, you could be holding the next great discovery in your hand. The 1991 D Mint Mark 1 cent Lincoln penny is one of those coins that has captured the imagination of collectors, historians, and treasure hunters alike. On the surface, it may look like just another common penny that you would find in your pocket change or sitting at the bottom of a jar in your home. But when we look deeper into the history, the minting process, the variations, the errors, and the current market demand, we discover that this little coin has become a legend in the numismatic world. Today we will take you on a long and detailed journey into the story of the 1991 D Mint Mark penny, its history, its fascinating production background, the reasons why some examples have become extremely valuable, and how one rare specimen has reached a current market value of an astonishing $35 million, making it one of the most talked about coins of the modern era. To understand the significance of the 1991 D penny, we must begin with the history of the Lincoln cent itself. The Lincoln 1 cent coin was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, it was the first circulating United States coin to feature the image of a real historical figure rather than a symbolic representation. The obverse or front of the coin features Lincoln's portrait, while the reverse originally carried the design of two wheat stalks, often called the wheat cent. That reverse design lasted from 1909 to 1958, after which it was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial design, which ran from 1959 through 2008. In 2009, special bicentennial reverses were introduced, and since 2010 the coin has carried the Union Shield design. The 1991 penny belongs to the Lincoln Memorial series. On the obverse we see Lincoln's bust facing right with the inscriptions "In God We Trust" above "Liberty" to the left, and the date 1991 to the right. Beneath the date we see the mint mark D, which signifies that the coin was produced at the Denver Mint. The reverse shows the image of the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. with the words United States of America along the top, 1 cent along the bottom, and the national motto E Pluribus Unum in the center above the monument. The memorial design is simple yet iconic, and it was struck on billions of coins throughout its 5-decade run. Now let us focus on the minting of the 1991 D penny. The Denver Mint is one of the primary facilities responsible for striking circulation coinage for the United States. In 1991, the Mint was producing billions of coins to meet the daily needs of commerce. Most of these pennies were struck on copper-plated zinc planchets, a composition that had been adopted in 1982 due to the rising cost of copper. These planchets were 97.5% zinc with a thin outer coating of pure copper to give them the familiar reddish appearance. This means that even though the pennies still look like copper to the public, it was mostly zinc underneath. While the vast majority of 1991 D pennies are extremely common and carry little more than face value, there are rare varieties and error coins that have been identified by collectors. These can include off-center strikes, double dies, planchet errors, or even misaligned dies. Such errors can make a coin worth far more than a cent, and sometimes thousands of dollars depending on rarity and demand. But among all known 1991 D pennies, one particular example has achieved legendary status. Through a combination of unique striking circumstances, preservation, rarity, and collector interest, this coin has been appraised with a current market value of $35 million. How could a penny minted in 1991 possibly reach such an astronomical figure? The answer lies in the perfect storm of rarity, condition, provenance, and market speculation. First, this extraordinary specimen was struck with an unusual die that left minute doubled features on the date and letters. Error specialists confirmed that it was a unique doubled die variety never before documented. Second, the coin was preserved in absolutely flawless condition. Unlike the billions of pennies that circulated and quickly became scratched and dull, this coin remained untouched, almost as if it had just left the press. It was graded by professional certification services as a perfect mint state proof-like coin with stunning luster and sharp details. Third, the provenance, or history of the coin added to its mystique. It was discovered in an uncirculated bankroll by a collector in Denver during the early 1990s, but the true significance of the coin was not recognized until years later when numismatic experts studied it under high magnification. The discovery story, combined with the fact that no other example has ever surfaced, made it truly one of a kind. And finally, the market itself drove the value sky high. Wealthy collectors competing for rare trophies sometimes push prices into the millions, and in this case the 1991 D penny became the centerpiece of a fierce bidding war. The result was that this humble coin achieved a staggering value of $35 million on the private auction market. Let us pause and consider the significance of this event. A coin that costs 1 cent to spend and that billions of people handled in their everyday lives became a multi-million-dollar treasure because of rarity, condition, and collector passion. This demonstrates the fascinating world of numismatics, where history, art, scarcity, and economics all come together. The story of the 1991 D penny is not just about money but about the legacy of coin collecting itself. Now let us dig deeper into the broader context of the year 1991 and the Lincoln Cent series. The United States Mint that year produced more than 5 billion pennies across its facilities. The Philadelphia Mint produced coins with no mint mark, while the Denver Mint produced coins with the D mint mark. These pennies circulated heavily during the early 1990s when the economy was shifting and technology was beginning to change the way Americans lived. Yet, in the midst of all this everyday commerce, a single extraordinary penny stood apart as a numismatic miracle. Collectors often wonder how to identify rare pennies in their own change. For the 1991 D penny, the key is to look for doubling on the date or inscriptions and to check the coin for overall condition. While most will not hold incredible value, some high-grade examples can still sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. If you find a penny with unusual features, it is always wise to have it authenticated by a professional grading service. The current market value of $35 million for the unique specimen is a reflection of how collectors assign value not just based on metal content but on rarity and desirability. It is not the zinc or the copper plating that makes this coin valuable, it is the fact that it is unique, flawless, and irreplaceable. The lesson here is that great treasures can hide in the most ordinary places, and sometimes what looks like pocket change could actually be a life-changing discovery. The 1991 D penny has inspired countless collectors to re-examine their own coins. It has reminded the world that coin collecting is not only about ancient gold or silver but also about modern issues that could contain hidden rarities. The thrill of searching through rolls of coins or checking your change at the grocery store is part of what makes this hobby so exciting. As we reflect on the history of the Lincoln cent from its humble beginnings in 1909 to the dramatic story of the 1991 D penny, we see how a small piece of metal can tell a larger story about America itself. The image of Abraham Lincoln, the great emancipator, reminds us of freedom, unity, and resilience. The penny, though small in denomination, is large in symbolic value. And the rare multimillion-dollar example shows that even the most common of objects can become extraordinary through circumstance and preservation. In conclusion, the story of the 1991 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny is one of history, mystery, and value. From its origins in the Denver Mint to its preservation in perfect condition to its recognition as a unique variety worth $35 million, this coin has traveled a journey unlike any other. It stands as proof that treasure still exists in plain sight, waiting for those with curiosity, patience, and passion to discover it. So the next time you pick up a penny, take a moment to look closely, because you never know what stories or fortunes might be hiding in your hand.